start recording. There we go. Science 9. Okay. This is page 25. If you are done, you can turn to page 25. And I'd just like to remind you that we do have highlighters. If you would like to use one, feel free. They are back here with the free paper. Okay, so there's free paper. There are free highlighters. Well, they aren't free highlighters. Put them back when you're done with them. Otherwise, we won't have any. That would be sad. Okay. So there is a video that goes along with this, but we're not going to use it because I'm going to teach it to you in person. But if you go home and you're like, oh, I would like to review some of this, you can either watch our lesson video. Let's go see where our lesson video is because we've got a couple people who have not yet met our teams necessarily. So here's our teams. Make that bigger. Okay, so if you were away and you would like to see what you missed on last week, we have lesson videos. I don't know if you want to watch the whole thing. It's not that exciting. Okay, so we have Wednesday, September 3rd, Thursday, September 4th, and Friday, September 5th. And you can watch those on YouTube if you want to. Our previous day's homeworks are on the homework channel, okay? And also in the homework channel, it tells you what we did in class, okay? And let's see, what else do we have here? We have upcoming quizzes and tests, which told us that we had a quiz today on quantities and units. And lastly, our class notes. If you click on here, this takes a minute to load up. You can see that we filled in 1.2a. So this has all the filled in notes. Okay, you can see everything that we've written is in here. And if you don't want all this stuff at the side, there's a little picture of a bookcase. If you click on that, it gets rid of all the stuff on the side. Okay, and you can make that bigger. If you want to see those, if you don't want to be on 1.2a anymore, you can go back to the little bookcase and you can find whichever section that you want. And our notes from that day will be there. So if that is helpful to you, that is excellent. If it's not helpful to you, then don't worry about it. Okay? All right, so let's go then to making measurements. There we are. All right. And we are on page 25, 25. Okay. So for any measurement, the last digit is considered to be the estimated digit. So here we have a ruler, and this is measuring in centimeters, okay? So we would look at this ruler, and In order to record this measurement properly, we need to write down 3 things. We need to write down what we are measuring. Okay, so this is in the little box. There's 3 things that you have to write down. You have to write down what you are measuring. So that would be the length of the pencil. What you are measuring. Obviously, you need to write down your measurement. So tell your partner or someone near you or yourself if you happen to be alone, okay? Or you can just, do little sign language at each other. You can be like 5, 5, 0, okay? What do you think that measurement would be for that pencil? Tell your partner what you think that measurement would be. Can we all agree that that's probably 6 point something? Because it's bigger than 6, but not yet 7. So we're going to write down 6 point. And then remember what we said about measurements is that our last digit is going to be the estimated digit. So we're going to be estimating what number comes after the 6. What do you guys think? 6.1. That would be a good estimate, okay? 6.1. So you need to have one and only one estimated digit. That is that one right there. So you have 2 things so far that you need. You have what you're measuring, and your measurement has one and only one estimated digit. And then the third thing you need is you need to have units. What unit should we put here? We should put centimeters because that's what this ruler says. Okay? Now, if I've been clever, I will always remember to put units on any picture of a measuring device. If I have not been clever, I will forget to do it and I will let you know what they are. Okay? But hopefully, fingers crossed, I have all the things on there. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3 things. We have what we're measuring, one estimated digit, and we have the units of measurement. So every time we make a measurement, we need those 3 things. I've now said this 3 times. So guess what might be on a quiz coming up at some point. Not tomorrow, don't worry. Making measurements, including those 3 things. Okay, but don't worry, today we're just learning about it and we're going to start practicing it. Okay. Now, if the measured object is actually exactly on the line, do you remember how many estimated digits we needed?
1.
We need 1 estimated digit. Yeah, 1. If I say 6, have I estimated that 6? Or do I know that 6 for sure?
For sure.
I know that's 6 for sure. I'm not like, ooh, could it be a 5? No, it could not be a 5. It has to be a 6. So how am I going to get an estimated digit here? What could I do? I could add a 0. So I could put a 0.0 at the end. So I'm going to add a 0 to the end. So if you're exactly on the line, you need to add an extra 0. Have I made a good measurement here? Chat with your partner about that. Think, is this a good measurement or could I make it better? Have I written it down the way I should write it down?
Oh, yeah.
No. Hernan, what am I missing? I'm missing a unit, okay? And because this is the same ruler as before, this is in centimeters, so we need to have our unit, centimeters. Okay. We have our unit. We have our estimated digit. There was one other thing we needed. There were 3 things. Unit, you need to have what you are measuring. So what should we write? Length of pencil. Now, it can get tiring to be writing length of pencil. Okay, scientists, we are lazy people. Okay? The abbreviation for length is the letter L. You don't need to write it like that. I write it like that so it doesn't look like the number 1. Okay? But if you want to write it like this, that's fine because that's a letter L. Yes?
I've also seen it written like a fancy, like kind of like that.
Like a fancy, like an E.
I saw like a book.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Not like that.
Mm.
Like a lowercase e.
Oh, you know what? Like that?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, that is actually that. It's just shorter. Okay? So it's not actually an E, it's an L. Okay? So you could write, but we still want to say that it's the pencil. Yeah? So we could write length of, and then we write it in little letters down at the bottom. Pencil. So that's the length of the pencil. I still like this one. I still like this better because it looks not like the number 1. But it's up to you. If you just want to write an L the normal way, that's perfectly good. The number 1, I will often write the number 1 like this so that it doesn't look like a letter L. Okay? So I try really hard, unless it's quite obvious, to make my 1s really distinct and my L's really distinct. Okay? All right. But if you want to write out the whole words length of pencil, you can write out all the words. Okay? That's just a way to shorten it. Did we record the three requirements? Yes, we did. We have the what we are measuring, what we measure. We have our estimated digit, and we have our unit. And when you write the quiz on this, I will literally give you 1 mark for writing length of pencil. Okay, if you forget the pencil part, you get a half a mark. You will get 1 mark for getting the number correct. So if you get a 6, you'll be like, yay, you didn't choose 5. Okay, so you get 1 mark for that. And if you get that estimated digit correct in the 10th position, that one decimal place, you will get 1 mark for that. And you will get 1 mark for the unit. So this question would be out of 4. Okay, so 4 marks for that one little question there. Okay. Now, this is a weird ruler. It is a centimeter ruler still, but we only have markings. We have only markings at the 0 and the 10. Okay? So, yikes. Tell your partner what you think this measurement would be.
Oh, your partner's not taking it.
All right. So maybe what could our measurement be? It could be 6 centimeters, or maybe it could be 7 centimeters. Are we estimating that digit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And since we are estimating our digit, that is our last digit. You're not allowed to add any more. Okay? That is estimated. Do you guys know the symbol for therefore? Yeah, 3 dots in a triangle shape. So we're going to put this here, and then I'll put like a little definition somewhere else. This here means therefore. We use this a lot in science, therefore, and so it's really nice to have a little shorthand version for it so we don't have to write therefore. Okay, that's our estimated digit, therefore that is our last digit. So would it be okay to say 6.0 centimeters? No. Would it be okay to say 6.5 centimeters? No, because we're already guessing at the 6. We can't go past it. You can either remember that your uncertain digit, you have to stop there, or there's another way to look at it. In this particular case, each line, the distance between lines, is 10 centimeters. So each line is worth 10 centimeters. So we are going to estimate one more position than that. And by position, you probably know what this is already, but if I had a bunch of numbers, I'm just going to put zeros, okay? 0, 0, 0.000. This position right here, that first one, what position is that? That's the?
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. It's the hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah, my brain is just not braining. No, you're right. That's the hundreds position. I had meant to put another one in front of that. That's the hundreds position. Those are the 100s. What is our next one? Yeah, that's our tens. How about the next one? Yeah, those are our ones. Okay, so we go hundreds, tens, ones. If you got bigger, you would have thousands. Now, when we get after the decimal place, yes. Those are the tenths. 1/10, tenths. Or you can say the 0.1s. Okay? Because those are tenths. And then we have 2 places after the decimal. What's that one? Those are our hundredths. And then our final one here would be the 1/1000ths. Thousandths. That's too many this in a row. That's crazy. Okay, so we have our thousandths place. So whatever your lines are worth, you go one more position than that. So if your lines are worth hundreds, you estimate to the tens. If your lines are 10, then you estimate to the ones. Okay, so you go one more to the right. You go one more position to the right. If you had, like earlier up here, each of these was 1 centimeter. What's one more position to the right than the 1 centimeter, than the ones? We go to the right and we say, oh, I'm going to estimate to the tenths. Okay? If I had tenths as my line, I would go one more position to the right and I would estimate to the hundredths. And don't worry if this is not clear yet. We're going to do a bunch more examples. It'll become easier. Okay? All right. So you always add one more digit than the smallest marking. So that's on our next page, page 26. So what is the smallest marking on this ruler here? And by smallest marking, I mean, what is the distance between the smallest of the 2 lines? What is that distance? We're going from 8 centimeters to 9 centimeters. What's that distance? Don't think too hard. It's easy. Yeah, it's 1 centimeter. Okay, that's 1 centimeter. So if that distance is 1 centimeter, so you have a 1 centimeter line, you would estimate, therefore, estimate to which position? The 0.1 position. 1 position to the right of the ones. So, knowing that, how would you record the length of this pencil based on the lines on this ruler? Tell your partner what you think. What should we record here for the length of our pencil? Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Get out of here.
Okay. How would you record the length of the pencil? It should be, who's got an answer? You answered lots of questions. I want people who haven't talked to me yet. And it doesn't have to be scary. Don't worry. Oh, I should tell you this story. I had a student once. Her name was Allison. And she was one of my first classes of AP chemistry students. Do you know what AP chemistry is?
Hard.
It's hard. It's like first year university chemistry, okay? It's a hard class. And I would ask questions. And Allison would put her hand up every single time, okay? That's what I call an intellectual risk taker. You're taking a risk because nobody really wants to be wrong in front of the class, right? Some people don't even want to speak in front of the class. Don't worry, I understand. I'm not going to force anybody to do anything. But if you can get yourself to like step a little bit beyond your comfort zone and try to answer questions, it actually helps with your learning. It helps because you have not only thought that answer, you've now spoken it out loud. And if you get it wrong, you get to have it corrected. So if you had a wrong idea to start with, that's actually the best thing. I know it doesn't feel like the best. You're like, oh my God, I'm in front of 30 of my peers or 29 of my peers. I just said the wrong answer. Well, let me tell you about Allison. Allison would put up her hand and she would answer the question. And by God, that girl was wrong like 80, 90% of the time. Like she would answer a question and it would be wrong. Okay? But we would have a good discussion about it afterwards. Do you know what she scored on the AP exam? It was out of like 5 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. It's a scale of 1 to 5. Do you know what she scored? 5. So here's this girl who every question she answered, basically most of the time, she got it wrong. And she was a really outgoing person, so obviously it was easier for her than it would be for someone who is less, yes.
This question said, have you ever thought that Alice might cheat on the test?
On the AP exam, you cannot cheat on the AP exam. Okay, I'll show you the textbook for this course. And you tell me if she wrote it on her arm. Probably not. She probably didn't write it on her arm. But she got all of her misconceptions out of the way early. It was like, you know, she was like, and a lot of her ideas were good ideas. They were just like a little bit off. Do you know what I mean? So don't be scared. If you can get yourself to just put yourself out a little bit, it'll be really good for you. If you can't, like I said, I'm not going to force anyone to talk who really doesn't want to talk. I know some people are like, I would rather die than speak in front of these people. That's okay. Nobody wants you to die. We all want you here. We don't want you speaking if it's going to cause you immense stress. Okay? So just think about it, especially, you know, if I've given you a chance to talk with your partner about it, if you feel like maybe you can just put your hand up and you can be like, something. And that's it. It's just like 1 word, 2 words. Anyone want to tell me what they think this measurement might be? Not you. Yes. 6.7. 7.5. Okay. What else have we got? Anyone want a different one? No, everybody got the same, the exact same? Yes. 6.7. Now, how many estimated digits are we allowed? 1 estimated digit. Are we sure about the 6? Yes, we're sure about the 6. Are we sure about the 7? We're not sure about the 7. So what that means is that this is our estimated digit, and we need to stop there. But do you see how if we hadn't gotten that answer, that clarity wouldn't be made? right? Do I expect you guys to be able to do this the first time around? No, maybe not even the third or the 10th time around. But by the time you get to grade 11, yeah, I expect you to be able to do this, right? So just bear in mind that learning is it's a growth process. It's like, if I don't get it right the first time, that's okay, because I get a second chance and a third chance and a 10th chance, okay? So we could have it be 6.7. Now we can't have 6.7 or 6.7, so I'm going to change this one to 6.6 maybe? Could be 6.6. Anyone want to give another guess? Yeah?
6.8.
You could guess 6.8. Okay, and any of those are acceptable answers. I would say if you went to 6.5, I'd be like, because it looks further than halfway, right? And I might be like, I'll take off a half a mark because it looks further than halfway, right? But any of those would be, and it does not look like 6.9. I'm like, we're not close enough to the 7 to be 6.9, okay? So I'm not going to worry about this one because we could not say 6.75. Actually, no, I'm not going to cross that out. Could we say 6.75 or 6.65? And the answer is no. Okay. Could you say 6.60? No. Okay, and that's because each line is worth 1 centimeter, so we can go one more decimal place than that. We can go to the 0.1. Ooh, this one has a lot of lines. So what I've done is I've blown it up great, big, huge for you here, okay? So we've taken this little bit here and we've blown it up big and huge down here. All right, so you're gonna take a look at that. That is it's still a centimeter ruler, and you are going to make your best guess as to how you would record this measurement. And by the way, I do also take note of like who talks to me a lot. And when I get to say comments on your report card, I get to say, oh, so-and-so participates so well and they contribute to class discussions and they really think and like, you know, they're an engaged student, and I get to say lovely things like that. So, you know, gives me something to write. Comments are hard to come up with. All right, anyone want to give it a try? Yeah? 6.75. Sure. Okay, because here we have 6.5. Here we have 6.6. Here we have 6.7. And this one here is 6.8. And we are somewhere in between the 6.7 and the 6.8. So we're sure about the 6.7. What else? Yeah.
6.77.
6.77. Absolutely. Centimeters. Anyone else want to give me one? Yes?
6.76.
6.76. Absolutely. Okay. Could we say 6.7 centimeters? No, because my last digit has to be estimated, and I know that I'm past 6.7. No. Could I say 6.7? Whoops, that's not a 7. Could I say 6.750 centimeters? No. Okay? And you know what? I notice if you're like nodding or shaking your head or things like that too, that also is like participation, right? It shows me you're engaged. All right, so we got no, because that's too far. In this case, each line, if we go between 6.6 and 6.7, that distance is 0.1. So each line is 0.1. So we can estimate to the 0.01. All right, and we're now on page 27. And what I'm going to get you to do is I am going to get you to try these 3 measurements and make sure you record them using all 3 things that you need. And then we can check your answers, okay? Once you have your answers, check with your partner, okay? Check your answers with each other. And then if anyone's feeling really brave, would anyone like to come up and write on here? Yeah? Okay, you can do the first one, okay? There you go. I guess so. Okay, close to that. Yeah. Anybody want a yearbook?
Oh, you're not bad.
Maybe you know what I'll do is at the end of class, I will do like a raffle.
I already have one too many.
You already have one? Okay, so I know we're gonna do this as we'll do it as a raffle at the end.
I already have one.
So bizarre. Okay. Okay. So at the end of class, we'll do a draw. Okay, we'll write our little names on a little piece of paper and we'll do a draw. Okay, that sounds like fun. All right, so we have length of pencil equals 6 centimeters. What do we think of that one? We're good? Yeah, because Each line, the smallest line, I don't know why my copy doesn't have that. The smallest line is 10 centimeters. So our estimated, we have to estimate to 1 centimeter, and therefore we've got 6 centimeters. That's a 1. There we go. Would anyone like to come and write the second one? Yes, sir. Okay. You can come around. Yeah. Awesome, thank you. What do you guys think about that? Length of pencil equals 6.0 centimeters. Yeah? Okay, tiny little correction. Lowercase l. Okay, is that a good thing to have learned? Yes. If I had written it, would we have had that chance to learn that? No. Okay, and this one, we have our smallest line is worth how many centimeters? 1 centimeter. And so we're going to estimate the 0.1 centimeter position right there. Okay, and we have our last one. Anyone want to come write that one? Yes, sir. I'm sorry I missed you. I'll get you next time, okay? I'll get you next time. There we go. All right, so we got length of pencil equals 6.00 centimeters. What do we think of that? 2 thumbs up, because each little teeny tiny line, this would be 6.0, this would be 6.1. So each little line, is 0.1. Therefore, we estimate to 0.01. And we got our 0.01 position right there. And all of you remembered to write down all 3 things. We have what we're measuring, we have our estimated digit, and we have our unit. Beautifully done. You guys are amazing. Okay. Now, if you are interested in doing some enriched stuff for homework, you could watch the video beginning at 8 minutes and 30 seconds and learn about significant figures. Ooh, okay. But let's not worry too much about that. All right, that's for at home if you want to do that as an extra. Anytime you see the black diamond symbol, black diamond means that's an enriched. Okay, now what video are we talking about here? We're going to go back to the front, the beginning of 1.2b. All right, and there is the link. However, there is also the QR code. Yes? All right, so that's the QR code. Now, I'm going to do a quick little lesson on it anyway, just so you know it. Okay, am I? You guys have been just doing such good work. Practice making measurements. Actually, no. I'll give you a quick lesson on that next day. Okay. But today we don't have enough time, really. We have 15 minutes left, and I'd like to give you some time to practice. We're going to go to then page 28. And we're actually going to skip numbers 1 and 2. Okay, we're going to skip number 1 and 2 to start with, because I would need to teach you how to read a triple beam balance. But you guys are going to do page 28. Up to let's skip that one. Up to 32. But we're not going to do number 1 and 2. We're going to do 3 to 8. And we're going to do 10 to 14. No, 10 to 13. There we go. So you're going to get introduced to different measuring devices in here. Okay, so what you're going to see is they will be labeled for you. Obviously, on page 28, this one says this is a ruler. That's easy, yes? I expect you to know what a ruler is. One of the extra things that you can get enriched marks for is not for knowing what a ruler is. Everyone should know what a ruler is. But if you look at this thing and you are able to tell me that it is a graduated cylinder, so that's on page 29. That's a black diamond, enriched. Ooh, look, there's another graduated cylinder. Everybody needs to know what a beaker is. Does everybody know what a beaker is? Did we use beakers last year? Yeah, okay. Ooh, we need to skip number 8. Sure. Let's get rid of number 8. Let's do number 7. We have got a spring scale. This one you actually need to know, but we'll talk about more about the spring scale when we talk a little bit more about mass and weight. Okay. That's a spring scale. That's a spring scale. And then 12 and 13 are just things. So give those a practice. That's the homework. I'll come around and help you out with it if you need any help. We've got about 10 minutes left. What's a sig fig? I will show you tomorrow. If you want to on your own, go and do it, you can. Okay? Or do you want me to tell you? Okay, I'll show you sig figs. Okay. In order to find the significant figures in a number, it's all the certain digits and that one uncertain digit. So all you do is you count them and you say, this number has 2 digits in it, so it has 2 sig figs, significant figures. Okay? This number here has 2 sig figs. 1, 2. This number here has 1 sig fig. It's actually really straightforward, but we'll talk more about it next day, so don't worry about it too much, okay?
yearbook thing, we'll do it in 5 years. Okay? Yeah. You sign out your sign out? Sign in? Yep. Oh, would be to watch the video. When my eyes clear, that's right. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna come around with little scraps of paper that you can write your name on if you want to go into the draw for the yearbooks. Okay? If you don't want them, if you already have a yearbook, just take one as you go past. They got stuff on the back, but just write your name. Yeah. If you don't want one, if you're like, I don't want a yearbook or I already have a yearbook, don't. I don't know what color, but it's in yeah. Oh, no. Well, I did 450. What do you, I think if you want to just go for the yearbook, you can write your name on the back of it.
I am good.
Okay, then you can just. Thank you.
If you've got your name, you can pop it in this little bucket here.
Does the yearbook have someone's name on it?
No, it's blank. You're like, oh, that's gonna go to the bottom and no one's gonna get that. Did you make 2 entries?
No, this is here.
Okay. All right. Anyone not get their name in who wanted it? Yeah.
Okay, and the first one goes to Kira. Kira Baines. All right, and we have the second one, shuffling some more. Shuffling, 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 goes to Cody. This side of the room. Wow. I just got away from you now. Look at these. I was erasing. I was erasing a little bit. And this paper, oh, that tells me it's time for you to go get your phone. Oh yeah, get it. Be helpful. Thank you, Jennifer. I just want to finish this. Oh, yes. So, take your time whenever you feel ready. No, I'm not. It took me a lot to figure out. Yeah. It might have expired. I don't know. It's the card. I can't. Where is it?